Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. So, Amber Turd's done. Johnny Depp has officially completely won. This is the end goal now. This is it. It's done. Penny as Karate has denied everything. Just straight down the middle, denied everything. It's done. Fantastic news. This dropped yesterday, but I was prior engaged with some other bits and pieces that I was unable to do this video. So this, along with two other videos that were due to drop yesterday, are going to be dropping today. So we're going to dive into this today. It's going to be interesting. I think this is great. It's fantastic news. It really is. So obviously give the video a big thumbs up because one, it's good news, and two, it helps me out. So why wouldn't you, I guess? But let's take a look, ladies and gents, because again, fascinating stuff that we've had with this entire case. It has been interesting. Amber Heard loses bid to dismiss the $10 million Johnny Depp judgment. Now it's not even just that, right? This is why, you know, these kind of articles don't denied everything. You know, all this, even the stuff to do with the jury, denied, done. We did the voir dire. I think that's how you pronounce it. You know, the voir dire. We did all of this. You were fully aware. There's no show of prejudice. Like all of this kind of straight down the line. Done. Poo-pooed it. It's fantastic. Like, it's great news. So, you know, the headline's a bit, you know, a bit of a turd, in fairness there. Not showing the full amount of everything. But, yeah, so US Judge Penny as Karate rejects Heard's claims after actor filed motion seeking to have defamation verdict against her set aside. And I mean, this offered probably one of the biggest laughs I've ever had on this channel. Like, I sat here in absolute hysterics when she filed the motion saying that the award that Johnny Depp was given was excessive. And I was like, love. Well, I didn't. I was like, bitch. Like, you countersued for $100 million. He didn't even get $50 million. Like, he got 10.35 and he needs to give you 2 anyway. It's absolutely incredible, the audacity of this woman to sit there and go, well, that's a bit excessive. Well, you wouldn't have said that if you'd got your 100 million, would you? You'd have been like, yes, 100 million. Wonder how many, you know, other people I can sort of convince to sleep with me with that. I'm sure, because that's probably what she's going to need to do nowadays. Although I'm sure there'll still be some people that will give her a poke. Anyway, so a judge on Wednesday rejected a request from the actor Amber Turd to set aside the $10 million defamation judgment awarded against her in favour of her ex-husband Johnny Depp. Again, that's not just what it is, right? It's not just what it is. Depp won a suit against Heard last month in a high-profile civil trial, and Heard won $2 million judgment on a counterclaim against Depp. Earlier this month, Heard filed a motion seeking to have Depp's verdict set aside or have a mistrial declared. Now, this was on several grounds. So her lawyers cited multiple factors, including an apparent case of a mistaken identity with one of the jurors, which they admitted that they knew. So you admit that you knew it from the start, and you're like, yeah, but my judgment, please, my judgment. It's like, no, you penis. What are you doing? It's not how this works. You can't say that and then be like, well, you know, because you wouldn't have got through the whole trial, right? You wouldn't have got through the whole trial, finished it all up, and if you won, you wouldn't have then gone, oh wait, sorry, we knew this information at the start. Can we have another trial now, even though it's in our favour? Because, you know, actually it technically wasn't fair. You wouldn't have, would you? God, what a raging douche canoe. Its lawyers challenged the verdict on the basis that one of the 7 jurors who decided the case was never summoned for jury duty, according to court papers. A 77-year-old was summoned, but there was like a 50-year-old, basically, someone in their 50s that just like turned up instead. Which, look, if that is the case, it's hilarious, quite frankly. Like, why would you even do that? I'm just going to waste my time. Because you don't get, I don't think you get paid much. Like, you're just wasting your time. I mean, it'd be interesting, but you are kind of wasting your time. It's a weird thing to fake. Anyway, Heard's lawyers argued that Virginia law is strict about juror identities in the case of mistaken identity as grounds for a mistrial. They presented no evidence that the 52-year-old son, identified in court papers only as juror 15, purposefully or insidiously sought to replace his father, but argued that possibility should not be discounted. Yeah, but you do also need to try and prove it as well. The court cannot assume, as Mr. Depp asked it to, that juror 15's apparently improper service was an innocent mistake. I mean, I don't know what to say if it would be a mistake. It's weird. I don't particularly give a shit, but it's just funny. Anyway, it could have been intentional attempt to serve on the jury of a high-profile case. Yeah, it might have been. But in a written order on Wednesday, Judge Pennyaz Karadi rejected all of Heard's claims and said the juror issue specifically was irrelevant and that Heard cannot show she was prejudiced. And this is I love Penny. She's so good, and it's funny as well, right? Because I, along with many of you, when this trial started, was like, "Oh, she seemed awfully biased against Johnny Depp," and then we're like, "This bitch is no nonsense. I love it. It's good. It's really good." The juror was vetted, sat for the entire jury, deliberated, and reached a verdict. The only evidence before this court is that this juror and all jurors followed their oaths, the court's instructions and orders. This court is bound by the competent decision of the jury. She's so good. I love it. It's so funny. Anyway, this article does note that Heard still has the ability to appeal the verdict to the Virginia Court of Appeals. Unlikely, because she ain't got no dollar bills, yo. She can't pay for anything. So that's why she was trying to do this, basically. It was essentially trying to do a appeal by proxy so she didn't have to post the bond. So funny. Anyway, the judge did not spell out rationale for rejecting Heard's other claims in Wednesday's order. I mean, she sort of did. She was just like, no, I told you post-trial motions that my judgment was final. That is literally like what was said. Like Law and Court, is it Law and Crime? Whatever the bloody network was on YouTube. They were like, yeah, we were there. She just said, no, I told you my judgment was final. The judgment is final. We're not changing it. Which is pure gold. Anyway, among other things, Heard argued that the $10 million defamation verdict award is unsupported by the facts. That's bollocks. And seems to demonstrate the jurors failed to focus on the fallout from the 2018 op-ed as they were supposed to, and instead looked broadly at the damage Depp's reputation suffered. What? I mean, what? Anyway, Heard's lawyers also argue that the verdict for Depp on one hand and Heard on the other are fundamentally nonsensical. Well, shove it up your bumhole, I guess. The jury's dueling verdicts are inconsistent and irreconcilable. Yeah, well, Elaine and Benjamin Rottenborn, your nonsense in court was inconsistent and irreconcilable. But anyway, this was utterly hilarious. Issues presented to the appellate court could be different from the issues as Karadi rejected on Wednesday. This would be interesting to see if they do appeal. I don't think she can. I don't think she got the money to appeal, but it is still funny nonetheless to kind of watch this. She's like a fish out of water, like floundering around. Very, very comical. Cracks me right up. Not much else to go into here. I've got a busy day ahead of myself, so I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy the two others that I've got planned. Cheers. Bye-bye. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box, along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.